wakey, eggs and bakey. Welcome back to PM in the AM, a comedy podcast designed for listeners of all ages. A show where we take a deep dive into some of the craziest topics we find around the internet, such as we make brackets about hilarious things, we do tier lists, we do different questions, and we find some of the craziest news stories. My name is Porter McNeely, and I am joined by co-host Blake Bushman. And we are going to bring you a half hour of humor. Blake, how are you doing tonight? I do notice the wardrobe, and I have to say, you're looking good, man.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, I feel like we got a little twinner going on right now if you're watching the video version of this.
Blake,
we're both repping that PM in the AM, so.
But Blake absolutely copied my look. He stole my look from last week, and he knew what I'd be wearing.
No, I assumed it was safe because, I didn't think you were going to double down on it.
Yeah, I just thought, I got to promote the merch. You got to wear it on the show, and who better than two good-looking dudes like ourselves?
If you want to look as good as us, let us know. We'll find a way to hook you up with a hoodie, and you'll be looking just as sharp as we are right now.
Yeah, the new logo on the back is pretty sweet. It's got more of a landscape with an egg sunrise, and excited that we are working on that logo. It's kind of in the final stages, and so I think we're actually going to kind of do a rebrand and change up the logo. It would be sweet.
I think it's about time, man. It's been a while since we put together that logo that we have now on the free phone editing app.
True.
It's been good to us, but I think the morning people deserve a little bit better. So.
Absolutely. We're moving up in the world. So we're really excited for this week's show. First thing we're going to do is we're going to dive into a listener submitted question. It's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be great. And then after that, we are going to be doing a tier list, which is kind of where we rank different products in a specific category. And this week we have a tier list that's kind of been near and dear to my heart recently, and I've been going to war with certain types of water bottles, not like plastic or whatever, reusable, not that,
the
but
brands, the water bottle brands, yeah,
and,
or the bottled water brands is a better way to put it.
Oh yeah, there it is. That's why I was stumbling over my own words. But I'm really excited for that tier list because I have been very passionate about that. I sent that over to Blake, and luckily he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So you're not going to want to miss this one because you're going to see some heated opinions. Before we get into our listener submitted question, we just want to remind you guys that the best way to get the word out about this show is to share it with a friend. So if you're enjoying the show and you've been listening to a couple episodes, make sure to subscribe, share that with a friend. And without further ado, Blake, do you want to introduce the listener submitted question of the week?
Yeah, this one, I'll try to be as not graphic as possible. I don't know our entire audience here, but they asked what our worst public bathroom experience was. So however you want to interpret that, whether that was you ate something bad or somebody else ate something bad, whatever it may have been.
Or all of the above.
Yeah. So what do you got for us, Porter?
All right. So this story has actually become legendary in my family. This story is, one of the greatest public restroom experiences, but also one of the worst at the same time. So bear with me as I get through this. You're gonna understand a little bit more why. But first, I gotta set the scene. So this is probably 2010 through 2012, Grand Canyon. So we're talking about the nice hole in the ground bathrooms where,
absolutely,
like a national park bathroom. I want you to envision that. A public national park restroom is a lot worse than just a regular public restroom. A lot more disgusting and. Yeah, without going too much into detail about why it's disgusting. So, I was probably like 12 or 14, and me and my little brother, we'd been walking around the Grand Canyon doing some viewpoints and whatever, enjoying the scenery, taking it all in. And me and my brother, we walked into the restroom unknowing what we were about to witness. Not as much visually as audio. And so
oof, yeah.
This is like a legendary moment in our family because me and my brother walk in and we hear what we thought was an earthquake occurring. Both stall walls are shaking. Like, this guy must have had his hands on both stall walls. He's like, just ripping farts, dude. Like, ripping farts so loud, I think the toilet seat was like lifting up and smacking down. It was like the craziest thing. Like, I need my brother, when he gets home from his mission, to come on the podcast and share this, that I'm not just making it up, because the entire stall was shaking. He was slamming his feet on the ground, and he was letting out the loudest farts humanly possible. I think he was like ripping his insides with those farts, and they were like echoing, and it was crazy, dude. It was just like, we were laughing so hard, you know, to like boys, like, we think the potty humor is hilarious and stuff, and this guy's just
it is
absolutely just, and he's like groaning too. He's like, "Ugh," and then he's just, like,
he was
ripping
fighting his
like,
demons in there.
Yeah, he was totally fighting demons. Like, I don't know what he had eaten, but it must have been so rancid and so bad for his stomach. Like, he must have been allergic to it. It was also rotten. And it also just was like undercooked, because
it was the Chinese all you can eat buffet.
Oh, it might have been. It must have been something, dude, because I am not over exaggerating. And I just, you know, I wish camera phones were more prevalent at that time. Not that I would have been taking pictures, but I would have, you know, snapped an audio thing.
Put the phone over the top and started snapping.
I would have violated my man with a video. No, that is disgusting, because I would not want to see who was inside there, even though we have over the years made various speculations of, like, you know, what kind of man. Like, we just figured it had to be an absolute giant man in there making those noises, but how much funnier would it have been? I don't know why we didn't stay in there, now thinking about it, to just see like some 105-pound skinny guy just come out of there. Like,
all I know is that dude came out of there super sweaty.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because like Arizona in the summer, yeah.
Man. That
crazy, dude. It was a crazy time to be alive.
There's something about, and this isn't the story I was going to tell, but this reminded me. There's something about like national parks or state parks, because we were down, and I don't remember the exact area now. I think it was like Zion or Bryce, somewhere down in southern Utah. And my dad and I were in a bathroom, and you would have thought this dude had a full-on orchestra in the stall with him, because he was... It was so loud.
My man was triumphant.
It was less vibrations and more just pure trumpet. I could not believe the sounds that were coming out of there. That's not the story I was going to tell. Ironically, though, it is still with my dad, and that makes sense. It was me, my dad, and a house full of girls, and so most of the bathroom humor came from me and him. And the story I was going to tell, it came from a time when you grow up, you're doing things with your dad, and we're working on some project together. I don't even know what it was. I was probably standing there holding a flashlight while he was, trying to get me to hold it right, cussing me out, that type of thing.
He's turning wrenches.
Get hold the light right! And I had to go to the bathroom. We were at Home Depot, and I was like,
no.
I'm not making it home, man. I got to go do my thing. And it was just a number one, nothing crazy. So I walk in there, I'm doing my business, and shortly after, my dad comes in, and the first thing he says when he walks through the door is, "Dude, did you rip one?" I'm sitting there. I'm a little kid at this point, and I tighten up. I'm just calling pee. Like, this was not me. I'm like, no.
Oh, man.
No. But my dad doesn't hear super well. He's not, a little challenged in that department, and so he noticed me quietly trying to whisper, "No, there's somebody in here."
That's so awkward.
And then again, "Bro, it reeks in here, man. What did you do?" And he's thinking that I am just passing gas in there, doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And again, totally oblivious to the fact that I was very aggressively trying to tell him that it was not me as I'm standing there peeing. And he just kept going. He's like, "Man, it is terrible in here. What did you do?" And eventually, I'm like, he notices me. I'm like pointing down to the stall that I'm standing next to, and you just see this guy's feet. You see this guy's feet sitting in there, and then they slowly just go.
He did not raise his feet. No way. Oh, man.
At that point, my dad realized that it was not me that was causing the foul smell that was in there.
Oh
because
my gosh,
at that
I'm
same
dying.
time, the men let one go, and it wasn't anything earth-shattering, but it was enough to make his presence known to even a slightly deaf guy. And so we both just look at each other. I don't even know if I washed my hands. We just got out of there. And I just remember walking around the store later, and I see this pair of
did
shoes
not.
walking around, and I was like, "Oh, I recognize you." So that was probably the most memorable bathroom experience ever. I've had much grosser ones that I'll spare our listeners.
Yeah, thank you.
I worked as a lifeguard for a long time, and people in swimsuits have a hard time getting them off before they go to the bathroom. I'll leave it at that. Unpleasant things were found on the bathroom floor, so wear shoes in the locker room, please.
That's disgusting. But that experience that you just shared is amazing for the fact that that guy was just in there. He was going through his own kind of a war, you know, and he was just, I bet that guy was praying. He's like, just please make it so nobody else walks into this bathroom right now. And then it happened, and he's like, well, I'm too far in. I'm past the point of no return. I'm gonna do my thing. And then the comments, that is so funny.
It was 100% one of those times that you're in there all alone, and he was really just letting it fly. You know, that's what bathrooms are for. And then he saw me walk in and was like, okay, no big deal. I'll just wait until he leaves, and we'll never have to see each other, and it'll be fine. And then my dad comes in, and no mercy. It was,
I know, he ended
I just imagine
that guy.
that poor guy in there is just
Lifting his feet up. He's like,
so.
that's amazing.
Yeah, if you ever had that happen to you in a Home Depot, I'm sorry that my dad accused me of some foul things, and it was just you. So
That's incredible. I love the fact that the guy lifted his shoes up, but not only that, you recognized his shoes and you saw him walking around after.
Yeah.
You should have given him. I mean, as long as you
Feeling
knew he
better,
washed
pal?
his hands, you should have gone up and given him a high five. You're like, dude, that was gross.
I heard about what happened in the bathroom earlier. I'm sorry.
It's been going around the store. The guy's like, this day can't get any worse. I came here to buy a box of screws. Oh, that's
Have
amazing.
you ever had a time that you were the person in the stall? And obviously, like, not in that situation exactly, but maybe it was a time that you didn't think you were going to make it to the bathroom?
Yeah, I mean, there have definitely been some close calls in my life, and I have been in there with other people and just had to make the decision on my own, you know? This might be a little bit louder than normal, but I don't care.
You just got to wait it out. If you're the loudest one, you have to be the last one. That's the rule. It's okay to be loud. You just can't go out first.
I'm sure I've been on the receiving end of some of those. I'm sure I've been on the receiving end of some of those.
There's a podcast somewhere talking about a story about
exactly.
us in the bathroom.
But thanks for tuning into this segment. We will be right back with our water bottle tier list. Don't go anywhere. Boom. And we are back. This week we got another tier list. It's been a while since we've done one of these, honestly, and I think the hardest part was finding a category that it fit. So when I thought of this one, I was pretty excited.
You've told me that you're very passionate about this. I'm interested to see if you're right, because there's a few that I don't really care about, but there's like 2 or 3 that are very important where you put them. A couple that should be high and a couple that should be low. So I'm interested to see your list and see how it compares to mine, because I think we should hopefully have them all the same, but we'll see.
I would be surprised on this one if we don't have a ton of similarities, because I think there are some clear outliers that are absolutely terrible, but for some reason are sold everywhere. And so without further ado, let me share my screen here. I'm excited to go into mine here, and we made the tier list, so we've got several categories here. And as you can see, we're going to go from if you're just listening to this, we're going to explain it as well. So we have the worst category is called small brains only. From there, it goes to terrible. The next one up is okay if thirsty. Then this is all right. This is pretty good. Hydro, homie approved. And the best category is I do not deserve this gift from the gods. And
Which,
at first glance, Blake, what are you seeing on my list that looks correct or incorrect, or what's going on here?
Honestly, I have my list pulled up here on the side just so I can compare. And there's a few differences like in the middle section, but what's really important to me is the top and the bottom are the exact same.
I'm glad we could get along with this. So now I'm going to go ahead and go through them. And so on the very bottom, small brains only. And this is why I'm so passionate about this. We have Dasani, the worst bottled water ever made. I don't know what kind of minerals or what kind of crap they're putting in it.
It's, you know what it is? It's the same taste as when your leg falls asleep. That's what Dasani tastes like. Here's my thing about it and why it's on small brains only. Because it is terrible. So like it could be in the terrible category. The reason it's under small brains only is only because for some reason, Dasani is everywhere. Like
absolutely.
you go to a gas station and let's say they only have one brand of water, it's going to be Dasani for whatever reason. I don't know if it's incredibly cheap. I hope it is because it tastes like TV static, but it's just like whenever there's only one kind of water, for some reason I feel like it's always Dasani, and it's like, well, crap, I either die of thirst or I have to drink pure sorrow. So,
yeah, absolutely. You know, you're at a concert, you're at an event, you're at a sports game. It's always Dasani. And you're like, yeah, I'll just die of thirst because I don't want to put this in my mouth. And it always costs $6. Somehow it's more expensive than some of these leading water brands. And it's
0% chance it hydrates you, too. No way.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. So Dasani is terrible and no one should ever drink it. But going up from there, the terrible category, I had 2 water bottles that I was unable to distinguish what brand they were, so I just assumed that they were terrible. I've never heard of these ones, and so I just threw them in the terrible category, assuming that they are cousins of Dasani.
You didn't want to take the risk. No, and
yeah exactly. It's a risky business.
I only have one of those same ones on mine. It's that one on the left. I don't know what it is, but I just assumed that it's probably not great if I've never heard of it. So.
Yeah, it looked terrible. So moving up, we're going to Okay If Thirsty, and I have the Costco water and the Sam's Club water here. You know, they, to me, have a hint of Dasani in them. They're not quite as bad, but they're also like the most frequent water bottle you're going to get. And I think we could even throw the Great Value water in the same category. And, you know, if I'm thirsty and I need a water bottle, I'll drink it. If not, I'm gonna stick with my tap water because they're not that great.
Oh yeah, see, this is where we have our first like main difference. Is the
oh man,
I actually have the Costco water up way higher. I mean,
than Sam's Club.
Sam's Club is in the same tier. That okay if thirsty, but Sam's Club isn't in the same tier as Costco. Come on, get out of here.
I mean, I would need to do a blind taste test, honestly.
The Kirkland product. Maybe we should. Maybe that'll be our next blind taste test we do is bottled water.
That'd be a good idea.
Because the Kirkland brand, like just as a whole, it honestly is just they get a popular version of something and rebrand it. Like that's 95% of what they have. So I'm pretty sure that the Kirkland water is just the same as like any of the better above tier water brands. So I actually have it in the Hydro Homey approved section.
Hydro Homey approved.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problems with a good old Kirkland.
Okay, I can respect that. So moving up to This Is All Right, we've got Nestle Pure Life and Aquafina. These are a couple of waters that I'm going to be more happy than Dasani, but it's not going to be top tier for me. But if I'm thirsty, I'm going to be a lot happier getting one of those than some of these bottom tier waters that we've talked about.
Yeah, and for some reason, I feel like Aquafina, I actually have those two in the exact same tier. I mean, we're staying pretty lockstep in this.
This might be our best one ever.
I mean, it really might be. I'm looking at this, and I'm really impressed. The Aquafina, though, I feel like there's like I don't know, if it sits there for too long, it becomes just horrendous. I don't know what it is.
Well,
There's
have you ever
something
tried
about
leaving a water bottle in your 150-degree car and then drinking it? That happens to all of them, Blake. That's
that
not
tastes
just
like
Aquafina.
plastic. No, but I feel like Aquafina, the process is quicker. Like the material of
The
the plastic
process?
they use is like so low quality or
So
something.
you're worried
because
about the decomposition of plastic.
You have 3 to 5 business days to drink that before
Okay.
it tastes like just pure plastic. So
I've never even realized that, but I think the blind water taste test that you brought up would be a pretty good idea.
yeah, if you're listening, let us know if you want to see that. We'll have to go. We're gonna end up with so much water though, because half of these.
What
you
if
can only
we
buy at,
actually
like
like
24
Dasani?
packs.
Oh, true. That would actually
no.
be stupid. I
There's-
don't think I think I'd be able to pick it out so easy.
Dasani, yeah, no way. I promise you, because Dasani just it tastes bad. It doesn't taste like water.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like water. That's the craziest thing.
It tastes like dust and pain. Like there's no way. So
That's probably like the mountain spring water, and it's
Yeah.
like the clean side is going through some of these top tier ones that we're going to get to, and then the dirty side is just filtering down into Dasani. That has to be what's going on. They're just taking the black
so then
and
why are they
brown
charging
snow.
$7 for a bottle? All right, this is unreal.
I don't know. So above that, we've got the I believe this is pretty good category. We've got like the Crystal Mountain category. I don't know if you're familiar with this water, Blake.
I wasn't.
Think
I
it's as much native to
actually
our
had
state.
that one down in Okay If Thirsty because I wasn't super familiar with it. Like I can't think of a time that I would have ever had it, but so I
can remember
assumed it was all right.
Sometimes we were traveling, maybe in California or like Washington
is it
or
a
Oregon or
California
something,
thing?
and we got like a whole pack of those, and they're pretty good. They're above all these other weird tasting waters because it just has a normal water taste, so it's enjoyable. But going up to the Homey Hydro approved, this is where it might get a little interesting for you, Blake. I've got Fiji water in there. I think it's a really good water, but I had to kind of base it off the price too. I think you're getting absolutely gouged for this, so that's why it's not in the top tier for me. It's excellent. You're getting the fresh Hawaii waterfall on the front. What more could you want in a water bottle? And the square, beautiful packaging, presentation is there. But for me, I just don't want to pay $8 because it says something about pH that I don't even understand.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we're pretty much the exact same for the reasoning. I actually had it one step lower on this is pretty good because Hydro Homies don't approve expensive water. I mean, that's that's a good point. That was my thought reasoning. I was like, if I'm considering myself to be a Hydro Homie, I'm not recommending Fiji to somebody because you can get better water for cheaper. So it's like, this is pretty good. If I drink it, I'll be like, hey, this is pretty good. But I'm not going to recommend you go buy it,
Yeah, so me and my wife on our honeymoon, we went to this pretty nice restaurant, and since it was in Mexico, they ask you like for what bottled water you want, and knowing me, I was like, water's free. This was like the first time we were at this resort. I didn't understand that we were going to be paying some premium dollar for this water. So he's like, it's between like the Nestle Pure Life or Fiji, and I'm like, Fiji, pour it up, baby. Let's go. Come to find out, I think I paid $12 for that normal size freaking Fiji bottle. It was like the most expensive thing we ordered that night was a bottle of Fiji. It was probably like
$3 for the Nestle Pure Life.
It was close to free, dude. I was so pissed. I was like, give me the unclean Mexico water. I'm not paying $12 for a bottle of Fiji. Man, I totally forgot about this experience until we were going through this bracket, and we totally got scammed. That was terrible.
Now, and this water, Brent, isn't on this list, but the Evian, what happened?
Oh yeah. It actually might have been that.
Because I've never had that water because
that's why you're not running at full capacity.
You think that you're drinking pure liquid gold. I have no idea. Exactly. It could be delicious, but I'm never paying $45 for a bottle of water.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't need the premium water. I've been, living for 24 years just fine off of whatever comes out of the tap and all these water bottles. So those expensive water bottles actually got a really bad story that I remembered and that got brought up. But I'm still going to leave Fiji there because I also do have another good memory. And my dad one time after a Jazz game, we went to a gas station and I was just like dead thirsty. and he bought me a Fiji bottle, and I loved the bottle so much that I would sit and refill it every time and just put it back in the fridge. And I had it for a while, dude.
I had a bottle like that. It was not Fiji, but we're going to talk about it now.
I know exactly where you're going. But once we get to the top, a gift from the gods, we have Arrowhead, an absolutely delicious water, and then we have Smart Water as well. So those two, I think, are the top tier. And Arrowhead also has that nice squeeze bottle with the little flip-up caps.
Oh,
Don't sleep on those. Those are nice.
Those are great. I mean, you do pay a little bit more of a premium for it, but Arrowheads, it's always a classic. It's cheap. You know, you can do it. It's always there for you. You know, and
the flavor is there.
Yeah,
that is a good
Smart Water as like a luxury water. But
I do too. Yeah, it's the cheapest luxury water. I would say though,
and I don't know. Maybe it just tastes good. I don't know what it is about it. I love it. And the Smart Water was the bottle that I kept for a long time.
I was going to say, it's either the squeeze top Arrowhead or Smart Water.
It feels like a little more premium, you know? And then also,
you were just rolling around. You were just flexing is what you were doing.
Yeah. And I don't even know if they still have this anymore, but there was a point in time where on the inside of it, there was a little fish. And so it looked like you had like a little fish swimming around in your water bottle.
Why you did it.
And that was another reason, because I was like, this is sweet.
Dude, everybody probably thought you were so rich. They're like, dude, this guy drinks
this guy's carrying around Smart
Water. $4 water bottle every single day. Good heavens.
Yeah, I mean, those two are far and away my favorites. I mean, I don't even think I need to show my list at this point, because it's basically the exact same. I'm
pretty impressed by the fact that we actually kind of lined it up this time. Yeah. We actually agreed on something, and not only are we canceling Dasani and their $6 bottles, we're also canceling Evian and the fact that they owe me a refund because I didn't know that it wasn't free, and I'm still upset about that.
Now here's my question. You said that this had been a hotly debated topic recently.
Yeah.
Does that mean that somebody in your close circle or somebody that you came in contact with was a Dasani fan?
Over the weekend, yes, I was talking with someone I don't want to call him out here on the show.
No, they deserve it.
I was talking with somebody who put Dasani in the top and Arrowhead at the bottom, and I was like, "What? Maybe it's because of where it's from. The water's treated differently."
Whoa, okay.
Whoa. I have never heard anybody say that Dasani is a top tier water. Some people are crazy and they're like, I don't really notice the difference. And I'm like, you have to notice the difference. But to do that to Arrowhead, you're on something.
The fact that Arrowhead was on the bottom and Dasani was at top, this person, I mean, I promise you, back in the day when you got the old TV static and it was black and white and you could feel the crackle. This dude would walk up and just lick the TV.
Lick the screen.
That was his favorite pastime back in the day. And he drinks a Dasani and it's like, takes me back to my childhood. There is a 0%.
He probably puts chlorine in his normal water. He drinks pool water. You have to drink pool water.
Have enough. It doesn't quite have enough chemicals in it. I think I might need to add a little bit more.
That's why it was fresh on the brain, because it was a hotly contested debate. And it's like, Arrowhead at the bottom, really? That fresh, good glacier water? Dude, that tastes like it's coming right out of a natural spring.
Oh, man.
That is how we like it.
I think really what it is, I think you need to do yourself a favor and just, I don't care if that person is your relative. Just cut them out of your life. You don't need that kind of negativity around you. If you're listening to this and you put Dasani at top, go repent. Change your ways. It's just,
Blake coming with the absolute savagery to finish up this week's edition. We are going to, of course, be sharing the link to this, so please make your own tier list and send it over to us. We'll analyze it and let you know if you're crazy.
I'll give you a grade.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll give you a grade for sure. But thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. We appreciate all the support. Blake, you got anything for the listeners on the way out today?
No, that's it.
All right, sweet. We'll catch you guys next week.
Peace out.
Congrats on making it all the way to the end. We hope you enjoyed the show. You are now officially part of the PM and the AM fan base, the morning people, and we are super pumped to have you here. Now that you're a part of the crew, please share the episode with a friend, and make sure to check out the rest of our shows and social media content for more hilarious brackets, crazy questions, and an overall great time. Thanks for listening. It truly means a lot to us, and we'll catch you guys next week.